Hey YouTubers, Raven here.
Starfire.
And tonight we're talking about The Flash!
Season 6, Episode 1!
Yes.
Into the Void.
Dun, dun, dun. Like, dang. Yeah, it was kind of a hard episode to watch.
It was.
Not because it was bad, but it was so good.
It was good, but it was just kind of sad.
Yes.
And intense.
Yes. Yeah, like, I mean, we've seen the pre-show, like, discussions. They had the interviews and stuff, you know, like, saying that, oh, they're still dealing with the loss of Nora and blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we watch this and everything's like, and they're just like, oh, yeah, no, we're fine. We get future Nora. And I'm like, are you fine?
I mean, Iris clearly was not fine.
No, but they did so well on tricking Joe and Cecile at first that I was like, they were fooling us in interviews. They're fine.
Well, I mean, of course they're gonna say that.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be like, oh, they're totally devastated. When obviously we know that they are because they lost their child.
Yeah. But it's not, like Iris said when they were talking about it on the balcony, like, it's not a normal way to lose your child.
No.
So it's like, I mean, technically they didn't lose her, but they did.
Yeah.
So.
But like she said, she's not going to be the same Nora.
Yeah.
So like, even though they will see her again someday,
it won't be their Nora.
It won't be their Nora.
I mean, it will, but.
It will, but it won't.
Yeah.
Which is...
I mean, technically speaking, now that you've had a Nora, naming someone else Nora.
Oh, it'll be Dawn and Dawn. Come on.
Exactly.
You can't do the Flash without the Tornado Twins. Yes. Okay? You can't have Iris and Barry be married, be the amazing couple that they are, and not give us and them the Tornado Twins. It's part of the comics.
Yeah.
Okay?
Everyone and their mother were going, who the f*** is Nora?
Yeah.
So, like...
So when Iris does actually get pregnant, it will probably be the twins.
Yeah.
Not Nora.
No. What I think, is that, I think I stated this at some point last season, but time travel. Cornucopia of disturbing concepts. Yes, we're back to that phrase.
It's a major paradox. No, I'm just kidding. Just have to be careful that you don't change history. But I mean, what person who's time traveled has ever listened to that rule, right? Because everybody that time travels literally changes history, so.
Yeah, just, you know, don't let witches take over Shakespeare's mind. It's fine.
That episode was so awesome.
It was. Doctor Who's amazing.
David Tennant is amazing.
Yes.
He is the best Doctor. And I know I've only seen 2 so far, but he's the best Doctor as of right now.
Completely.
It might change when I see Matt Smith, but we'll see.
I'm on the fence.
I'll probably still like David the best, and then Matt Smith will probably be second.
That's how it was for me for a long time.
Yeah.
And then eventually I kind of grew the whole...
I mean, who knows? I might even like Peter Capaldi.
Yeah. I like him after stopping burning muscles. But, anyways. Basically what I think happened, or what I think will happen, because children.
In the future.
I do remember saying this. Mm-hmm. I think it was last season.
Probably.
But because Nora went back in time to fix the past,
Fix being the key word.
Yeah. She altered it so that things happened in a way that wouldn't require her going back in time in the future.
Back to the Future.
Well, okay. you see, like, this is the Nora we all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
She went to the past and changed it. So this Nora that we thought we knew,
Mm-hmm.
she never went to the past, so she keeps living, right?
Yeah.
And with this Nora that we knew dead, we only have this one that keeps living.
There's always going to be another version of the person.
Because that version of Nora never went to the past,
Mm-hmm.
or Nora never existed because of that, and so therefore she never went to the past to fix it, to keep it on track with what's going on now.
Uh-huh.
Then it happens again.
Yeah, because it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in Back to the Future. Marty in 1985 goes back to 1955 to, make sure his parents get together so that he can exist.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he comes back again to 1985, another version of him is going back to the past again. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a cycle of, the same thing constantly happening over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry. I mean, it's literally the best movie to use when you're talking about time travel.
Yeah, except in my description, there is no second Marty going back to the past while the one we know is returning.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
No,
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That using your description, this is the flaw in that.
Right.
And so, in the version in which Nora never went back, you have the twins.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as the twins grow, you have a past that never got Nora, so that gets all effed up again, and then Nora's born instead of the twins. Yeah. So it's like a constant,
loop.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every other timeline. Well, it's not different. It's not different timelines. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the same timeline, but because things didn't happen one way, they end up a different way.
Yeah.
But because they ended up that way, things never happened the way they had to.
Right.
So then it's like just as the twins are being born, Nora's being born.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
going back.
Because one change can completely alter what happens in the future or
right.
So
past. In order to keep things completely copacetic, there always has to be copacetic. I said copacetic. Copacetic. My mouth.
I knew what you meant, yes. But I was just happy that you used the word.
I know. In order to keep things completely
keep things in the status quo and adequate, yes. And whatever you want to use.
Stick to the stuff you know. Because if you want to be cool, you follow one simple rule. Don't mess with the flow.
No.
Stick to the status quo. So, there always has to be a Nora. But by there always being a Nora, there will always be... It's like...
Yeah.
Boom.
It's a constant flow of,
Yeah, it's confusing, but...
It's confusing, but after you see that kind of stuff hundreds of times, mm-hmm. You start to understand it.
Right. So my question is that... There's a question in here, too, as well as my explanation. So with that being the explanation... See, my words not working...
It happens to me on a daily basis.
I get it from my dad. There's so many words he cannot say that piss me off so much. But, anyways, when you have that going on, and without Nora, with the twins being born, because we're just assuming the twins are going to be born this time.
They're gonna be.
Yeah, you have to have a version with the twins. I'm sorry.
You have to.
It's like a Flash law. But
It's
with
like doing Superman without Lois. You can't.
I mean, technically, the comics did.
Well, screw the comics.
I mean, he had Wonder Woman instead.
That's what I say to that.
Yes, I agree.
Moving on.
Yes. Because Nora never went back in time to fix the stuff so that the twins are born, do the twins have a Marty McFly moment of fading away? Because they only exist when Nora goes back in time, but there's no Nora to go back in time. By this same logic, how is Nora in the future when because Nora went back in time, Nora never gets born and the twins are born instead?
Because, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the same future. Because every other time this happens. And it always happens the same exact way. Right? So, and she always dies under the same exact circumstances. It's like a fixed point in history. Okay, like on Doctor Who, it's a fixed point. Can't F with those. And, like, so, how...
Well, in Back to the Future, there wasn't a fixed point, was there? Because...
The fixed point was his parents getting together.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, that had to happen. Yeah. In order for everything else to happen in the future, they had to be together.
By a certain time.
Yes. Because he was only there a week. Technically, his whole journey through all 3 movies is only like 2 weeks. Because in the first movie, he's in 1955 for a week. Then in like the second movie, I can't remember. I think it's like a day. Remember, he was supposed to go and like deal with the stuff that happened with his son or with his and then like go back. But because the alternate 1985 happened, they had to go back to 1955 to fix the alternate 1985. And so yeah, I think that was like a couple days or something like that. And then for the third one, it was like 5 days. So
like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, about that. But yeah, they had to get together by a certain point or he would cease to exist. Him and his siblings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Things have to happen in a certain order or the future won't happen the way it did.
Yeah. And the only reason the alternate 1985 happened was because the Biff changed it. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, like, that's my whole, like, what is gonna happen with the twins? I mean, they're not gonna do that.
No. But it'd be so cool if they did.
Right. And then it'd be like, hey, remember Raven asked that question?
Yeah. But it's just because, like, when time travel is involved, you're always going to come back to that. Like, it's always going to be, like, Back to the Future or, like, a Marty thing or whatever. Because, I mean, that's what, like, all of it, that's what we know about time travel because of that. Like, there's other things that have done time travel, of course. But, I mean, that movie has, like, all the rules, has all of the things that happen when you do time travel and things like that. So, I mean, it helps you to understand it a little better. I mean, at least for me, because I watched it, like, practically every day that whole summer after I saw them. But, yeah. I just wanted to see him play Johnny B. Good, mainly. Yes. That was the height of my obsession. I was 13. Give me a break.
No. Never. But But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting.
Oh, that's lovely to see.
Right? I mean, a minute ago he had it all the way up. He's doing the hind leg salutes.
Don't mind him. He's just giving himself a bath.
Yeah. But anyways, black hole.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the person was an actual black hole.
Well, not the body of the person, but
the subconscious.
Yes. Like, I called it. The second he touched it on his Twitch feed.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, the second he touched the black hole, I was like, he's the black hole, and he was.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the other option could have been like he was controlling it, like he would be dreaming, like you know, or thinking really hard about maybe I should go to the trash yard today, and then the black hole shows up. Maybe I should finally tell Natalie how I feel about her, and then the black hole shows up.
Right.
So, you know, it's just stuff like that. But I loved Ralph's entrance.
Yes. As soon as I saw him in like the hallway with the suit, I was like, oh, he so looks like James Bond.
Yes.
And then he comes through and he's like, the name's Dibney. Ralph Dibney. And I'm like, yes!
Yes. If I liked James Bond, I'd be even happier. But I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
I'm a fan of Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. Because he's the best looking of all of them, in my opinion.
I really don't care.
I just think he's really attractive. But most people consider him the worst Bond. So, yeah.
Well, I thought he was really smart this episode.
He was. I really liked him.
Really intuitive.
He's definitely become an essential part of the team, and I actually said that in the tweet that I tweeted. And I'm liking that because I feel like, you know, at first he wasn't, but now he's like really, really come into his own, and he's a really vital part of Team Flash.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he can really help them. Yeah. So I'm enjoying that. Regardless of how people felt about him back in season 4, he's definitely had character development. And he's become a really great character. So, hate is gonna hate, but Ralph is awesome. Yes. I've never had a problem with him. I mean, yeah, there's been times where I thought he's a little annoying or, you know, made some mistakes. But all the characters make mistakes. Mm-hmm. They're human. Yep. It doesn't mean you like them any less. It just means that you're disappointed because they made a stupid decision. Yep. But if they redeem themselves and, you know, do better and fix it, then they're the same character that we've grown to love.
Like, you guys have seen me full-on talk hate about Barry.
Yeah.
For an entire season. And then for a lot
But
of
I mean,
season.
rightfully so. Right. Because season 4 was all kinds of bad. Not just because of Barry, but in general.
Yeah, except for Ralph. He was the only good one.
Yeah. And West Allen getting married. But other than that, I mean.
Right. But then, like, you had, like, last season, you know, like.
Season 5 was significantly better.
It was, but he had some really crappy parent moments.
He did.
And, I mean, I'm not going to fault him. He didn't have the, like, learning phase.
No.
But, you know, just, I don't know, pissed me off. But, you know, like, I'm not afraid to admit that there are moments in which I hate my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next moment they go right back to being one of my favorite characters. Like,
Mhm.
it's just a thing.
It's not a love to hate thing. It's just there are moments where you're like, really? Why did you do that?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, there's the character I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because, like, you explained to me, I understand love to hate now. Because before I would just say, oh, I like them as a love to hate character.
Mm.
But in reality, what you're saying is you love to hate them because they're so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so good at being bad.
Yeah. Like Gold, when
The-
he was legitimately the Dark One.
Yeah.
You loved to hate him.
Yes, because he was so good at being the Dark One.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
And Lucifer is so good at being Lucifer on
Mhm.
Supernatural that you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
You know?
I love you, but I hate you.
Yes, I hate you because of who you are, but I love you because you're awesome at it.
Yeah. That's what I love.
Yes.
But yeah.
I can't wait to see him again in the last season if he comes.
Mm.
Mark Pellegrino plays him so well. He's so snarky with the character. It's so much fun to watch. He's so sassy and snarky, and I love it.
Cisco's girlfriend made an appearance at the very beginning.
She did. What's her name again?
No idea. I don't. I don't have an idea at all.
Well, she's good for him.
She is.
And she accepts everything.
Yes.
That's going on.
I loved the flashback they did.
Yeah.
When it flashed back to last season when he told her what he was.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, vibe. And I loved her response.
Yeah.
Was that if that's who you are and you're happy with it, I'm not going to stand in your way.
Exactly.
And it's like, but you're also not leaving him either. You're the perfect girlfriend.
Right? It's like when freaking Paige told Henry on Charmed that she was a witch, and he accepted her.
Yes.
And didn't care because he loved her.
Yeah.
That's why he was the perfect guy for her.
Yes.
And that's why I love them.
Right?
Like, that's what it totally makes me think of.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he was like, I don't care.
It's like Macy and Gavin. Only Gavin didn't, like...
He might have been a little bit freaked out about it at first and been like, what the hell is going on? But when she confessed and told him, he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bother him.
Nope.
So...
It's like Macy and Gavin in
it makes me want to watch season 8 of Charmed now because of all of that with them.
Right? I
But,
just liked the Billy thing.
Yes. That too.
Like, a lot of people hated that.
They did. A lot of people really disliked her.
I didn't like the Christy bit.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
I loved Billy, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I kind of wonder how they're going to do that on the remake.
If they do it at all.
Right? Since it's the most hated season.
Well, I liked Phoebe and Coop, and I liked Paige and Henry, so I liked season 8.
And I liked Macy and Gavin, so I hope.
That was Charmed?
Yep, in the remake.
Oh, yeah, Macy. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Macy, the oldest.
Yeah.
Yep. But, yeah, I just, you know, like, I love that she just wholeheartedly accepted him.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I love when that happens because you know that that's, like, the person that they're supposed to be with. Because, you know, it's really hard for them to tell somebody that because that's part of their identity, but they have to keep it secret because they don't know if they're going to be accepted. So when they finally do tell the person that they love that that's what they are, and the person is, like, okay with it and accepts it, it's just like, thank you. Because you accept me for who I am. And that makes you the person that I'm supposed to be with. You know? I mean, I know with like Superman they keep it and they're like, oh, you know, Lois isn't supposed to know that he's Superman. And like in the movies they do that and all of this stuff. But it's like if she knew, she wouldn't care.
Well, technically, in the new iteration, the one that is the current Superman, she knew.
Yeah, in Man of Steel, she did.
The most famous, stupidest line. Welcome to the planet.
But I mean, in the Christopher Reeves ones.
Yeah, but that was also like the era.
Yeah.
Like, ain't no man gonna be telling a girl his secrets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we stronger.
But I mean, in Smallville, like, Lois figured it out.
Yeah.
She figured it out on her own.
She was a strong and independent woman who don't need no man.
Without him even having to tell her. Like, she's like, I know that kiss. I know who that is. Yes. It's Superman. You know?
Well, I mean,
the blur.
Yes.
But still.
You're making me want to rewatch.
It's on Hulu.
I know.
I'd probably only rewatch certain seasons.
They're coming back. They're coming back.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so damn excited.
Oh my god.
This is going to be the best crossover of any crossover that a TV show has ever done in the history of crossovers. I'm not even kidding. It is going to be insane.
We're getting Batman.
It is going to be literal insanity when this crossover airs. Okay. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Kevin Conroy, who's voiced Batman for 27 years, is going to be Batman in the crossover as, like, him, physically, as Batman. Yes. He's not going to be behind an animated character. It's going to be him. Yes. Like, that is so awesome. I can't even.
I'm so emotional about this. Like, my childhood. Grew up on him. He's my Batman.
He's the best Batman.
He's the one true Batman.
He's the one true Batman, damn it.
Yes.
And I haven't even seen the animated.
No, but you're watching Justice League.
But I'm watching Justice League and he voiced him on that. So yeah.
He's the one true
Batman. And can
Batman.
I just say how much I love Jon Jones on Justice League? Like, I really do, okay? He's probably my favorite.
He's my favorite iteration of Jon Jones.
Yes, I really love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He's so complex.
Yeah.
But he's just such a great character to watch. Yes. Like, I don't know. It's just, I just enjoy him on there.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
I mean, they're all great. I love the way the Flash is on there. He's so flirty and hilarious.
He is. He's such a womanizer.
And freaking Lex Luthor, Michael Rosenbaum voices him, which is awesome.
But, like, oh, just this episode was so good.
It was.
And we're only talking about all these other things because it's the only way to express our feelings.
I mean, when I read a description about it and, like, what they said about Caitlin with the Killer Frost stuff, it made me think that something really bad happened in, like, her, like, with her and Killer Frost. And I was like, what, you know? And then all it was that she was just having trouble, like, bringing her out.
Yeah, see, like, in the interviews and stuff, like, I kind of got that. Like, I didn't get the impression that she would have trouble bringing her out.
Yeah.
But I did get the impression that there was gonna be some trouble with Killer Frost because she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have her own identity.
No. And I love that Ralph was all trying to, like, help her with that.
Yes. I love that, like, Ralph told Caitlin that, like, well, maybe it's the fear of death because, you know, your father died, her father died, and then you went to a funeral, and, like, and then you almost died.
Her name is Camilla. That's a hot picture of Grant Gustin. Hello.
See, I don't like mustache. I'm not into mustaches, guys.
I like scruff though.
His scruff is okay, but full on like.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. A close shaven beard is okay. Trimmed. Come on. Not be a caveman.
She's 34.
Well, Candace Patton is damn fine for 34.
She's older than him. 5 years older.
Well, they both sexy AF. So, but just like, I loved that, it was that she needs to find her own identity.
Yes.
And, because that was one of my huge things about Killer Frost, was that we don't know who she is. I mean, we see her and she's protecting everyone, sure. But the only time we really saw her as Killer Frost, she was against the team. Yeah. And that's who she was. She was the villain. And then she became their friend.
When he was doing that, like, it makes now, I wasn't initially thinking it when I saw the episode, but like now, when Ralph was like trying to be the life coach or whatever, it reminded me of like the Doctor on Voyager when he was trying to help Seven of Nine, like kind of find her identity and like, you know, be more like have social skills and like interact with people and kind of just like get back into her own. Because like he struggles with that too since he's a hologram and he's not actually human. Right. So he kind of was like mentoring her in that way because she is human, but she was assimilated so young that that's all she knew for so long. So he's kind of helping her kind of get acclimated back in society again.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, like I loved that, you know, Caitlin was so understanding. And she was like, look, like, you need to live your life too. Like, I love that she was like, you've always been there for me, now I can be there for you.
Yeah.
You've always been a part of me, now I can be a part of you.
Right.
And I was just like, girl, you're like, I love
you. Suit
yes.
Was so cool.
Yes.
Like, it was the bomb.
Like, everyone's getting new suits this season. Like,
Barry's suit looks good.
It's the same one.
I know, but
it did look really good.
I feel like it's brighter. Like before, it was more of like a deeper red, like a crimson kind of burgundy red, and now it's like
not
a bright
this suit.
Red.
This was the suit that Nora gave him.
Okay.
From The Ring. And so that's why.
Because in the other seasons, it was darker red.
Yeah, but then Nora gave him the suit from The Ring because his suit got busted.
Yeah.
And so this is the suit Cisco did not make. But
so it's kind of more like the vintage Flash suit in a way, because it's like a little bit lighter, and the original Flash suit was kind of like that. It was brighter red.
Well, Flash's suit's supposed to be brighter red.
Yeah. So.
Like,
I liked the darker red because I thought that it was really pretty. And I just like deep crimson, like burgundy red.
Right.
But it's more authentic to have it be the bright red.
Right, but I mean the bright red is like because the comic version of him is more like look at me and like flirty.
Right, right. Like Justice League.
Yeah. I mean, is that Barry Allen though? I can't remember.
Is it?
I can't remember if that's Barry.
Well, regardless.
Well, I mean, you know, whatever. Like, Flash is, like, flirty.
Yeah.
And, like, and a jokester. And, you know, like, he's all of that. And I think that goes with the brightness of his coloring.
Yeah,
it's
like the brightness
like,
of his personality.
Look at me, like I'm the center of attention.
Right.
And then
like
this version of
right,
too. And this version of Barry is not like that. He doesn't want to be noticed.
Right.
So he started out with dullness, but now because everyone knows who he is, he is, whether or not he likes it, the center of attention. So his suit got brighter over the years.
Yeah.
And the more recognition and the more center of the attention he got, the suit got brighter. And I think is
really cool how it kind of like it, goes with it. Like it's almost like a metaphor, like a symbol, like because he's getting recognized more, because he's kind of starting to be more like positive and like joke and be the way that he is, like it's becoming that color.
Yeah. So yeah, like I loved that they went back for the suit.
Yes. That was a really sweet thing that he did for Iris.
Yes. Frankly, I thought that they were going to see the newspaper clip.
Yeah.
And not have the monitor come in.
It looks like they're going to see the clip next week. The newspaper clip. At least from what I saw in the promo.
Right. Well, I mean, like, they showed us the newspaper clip.
They did.
But they didn't show them.
Yeah. But I mean, in the crisis he's supposed to disappear, but does that mean that he dies?
No.
It's my phone.
Oh. That could just mean like that he's within the multiverse, that he went back into the Speed Force.
Yeah.
See, I'm not familiar, like, I have a general concept of what stuff, of how things usually kind of generically go for crisis events, but I don't know Crisis.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, I know that Supergirl and the Flash are supposed to both die in Crisis. And whatever. Like, that's the thing that's supposed to happen. That's why they had that, like, last season.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing, and then Superman brought them back with the book. But, it's, I don't know the story.
I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to be Oliver just because Arrow's ending.
Right. Like,
because the Flash is still going to continue.
He made a deal.
And Supergirl is still going to continue. Yeah. So they can't be the ones who die because those shows are going to still continue on after Arrow's over.
Right.
Yes, things will be different after the crisis. But Barry's not going to die.
No.
Even though that's what the Monitor said, that's not what's going to happen.
No.
It's probably going to turn out significantly different than what the Monitor is suggesting.
Right. But the Monitor needs to say what he needs to say in order for things to happen the way they're supposed to.
I know.
So whether or not he knows that Barry Allen dies or not, if he says, you die, then it's like, he's going to do whatever it takes to not
make
die.
Sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So if he said, oh yeah, no, you're fine,
then Barry wouldn't try.
Right, and then he dies.
Yeah. Like, so if he knows that's what his fate is, he can do what he can to stop it.
Right. Like, you don't know what game the Monitor is playing.
But Oliver made a deal.
Yeah, he made a deal, and we all know what that deal
that's what people are predicting. It might not necessarily happen, but that's what people are saying.
Well, he dies. Come on. Like, after he leaves at the end of last season of Arrow, and he left his family to join the Monitor on his quest to find heroes to save the multiverse, at least to save that Earth, because some of the Earths have already fallen, then it's just like he's gonna die because he doesn't return, like, ever.
No.
And I think at the point in his life that he was at when he left, he would have totally returned. He was prepared and ready to be a father.
Yeah.
To leave it all behind and be a dad. And I think that if he was able to, he would return. But he made a deal to save the heroes with powers, which I think is the smart move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you have plenty of people watching over your city, and you trust them to protect your city. So, you know, like, you have more than one person with powers protecting your city. Supergirl has Jean, maybe, you know? And Flash has Caitlin and Ralph, but I mean, they're not the Flash.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, you're trading in a non-superhero character who protects the city, and leaving his city in the capable hands of a woman with superpowers and a bunch of dudes who can fight.
Yeah.
Just as well as he could.
Right.
So it's like, well, I mean, I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't think he's actually gonna die. I think he's going to go into the Paradise Dimension.
Yeah.
And
his time has come.
Yeah. I mean, if they ever desperately need him to come back, I am sure he'll make a reappearance somehow. Because, you know, it's comics, even though it's TV, it's still comics. Yeah. Oh, what's dead may never die. Yeah. And if you can tell me where that quote is from. Oh, what's dead may never die. Then put it in the comments below. No.
I thought you were asking me.
No. What's dead may never die. So yeah. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. We will be watching, but not reviewing the last season of Arrow.
Yes.
And
that's too much.
Yeah. And we are watching Batwoman, but we're not reviewing it.
No.
But we do love it.
Because it's too new and, like, I don't know enough. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's amazing so far. Go check it out. And we've talked more about what we liked and didn't like about it in the previous 2 reviews for the week. In Supergirl and in Black Lightning. Mm-hmm. So if you want to hear about that, you can check out those videos.
And next week, Arrow comes back. So,
yes. So maybe we'll say if we liked the episode or not.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll watch it after we do the review. We don't know yet.
We don't know.
So I guess until next time, keep believing in the impossible.